University now joined by the all-time leading tackler. I'll say that again, the all-time leading tackler at Temple University, and that is Steve Conjar. Steve, thanks for a few minutes. How are you, my friend?
Good, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
So I have to bring this up because it was talked about when Paul Palmer was up here. He was saying, I hope some of these new running backs coming in don't break my records. If Tyler Medikevich was to leave Temple University with the all-time leading record for tackles, what would your reaction be?
No, I'm okay with it, but
you'd be a little sad, huh?
Well, I'll put an asterisk next to that saying that. Do I want him to break it? No. But if anybody that I would think of that I would want to break the record would be that kid, because I think he's a first-class kid. I think he's a great player. I mean, I watch him. He's really one of the few linebackers since I got done playing that I've really had an interest in looking at, besides Lance Johnstone. So I'll tell you, I'm not offended if he breaks it. I mean, I talked to my father. My father was 91, and I said to him, I said, Dad, I think this kid's going to break my record. And he goes, hey, man, you can't worry about that. He goes, records are meant to be broken. He said, you had your time. Let somebody else share that time with you.
And he still had a terrific career. I was talking to Matt Ioannidis a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him about the defense. That was one of the better units in college football last year statistically. He said with all 11 starters returning in 2015, the unit could be even better. It's crazy to think about.
But I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean,
some of the redshirt freshmen that sat out last year, like a Michael Dogby, a Freddie Bufloyd, they're going to even improve this team up front.
Sure.
And the secondary is only going to get better, too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's a vibe in the air right now about
you could feel it.
This unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, I'm feeling it. I mean, I'm a guy that goes to every game. I've been going to every game for all these years, but I don't go into the games because I have a big tailgate that I run. But I already told my guys, I go, I'm going in this year. I get my season tickets. I'm going in to watch the games because I want to see this team play, because I think this is a special year that they have this year.
So now, who throws the better tailgate, you or I know Cap Paklemba's always roaming the parking lots, the former Temple kicker, talking about his chili and all that stuff. Tell me, what is that, the Steve Conjar tailgate?
Yeah, Cap got nothing on that.
I love it.
I mean, listen.
Take us inside this tailgate.
We got the old school guys that come back, and we've, I'm going back probably 15, 20 years where there was 6 of us, and now, we might have anywhere from 300 to 400 people that come through that tailgate on a Saturday. So, yeah, I mean, listen, getting older, don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. I want to start enjoying going into a game and seeing a game and, seeing my Owls play and not hanging in the parking lot. So I'm trying to get some younger guys to take this thing over. But so if you know of anybody, let me know.
we could probably help you out after we graduate. Maybe
there
not
you go.
Because we're broadcasting the games when we're actually doing this stuff.
Sure.
But hopefully we'll help you out after you graduate. After we graduate, as Steve Conjar joins us right now from Edberg Olson Hall at 10th and Diamond for the Cherry and White game. I want to just get back to Tyler, because we didn't get to have the privilege of seeing you play. We weren't even a thought probably yet with our mothers and fathers.
Exactly.
But Tyler is a player that's such a strong leader. He's all over the place. He'll be right at the line of scrimmage one time, and then we'll be making a tackle downfield, getting interceptions, and running down the sidelines like he did up against Penn State. Do you see any similarities between the way you played and the way Tyler plays?
I think he's a lot better. and I'm not just saying that to say it. It was a different time and a different era, but I'll tell you, he reminds me a lot of Luke Kuechly that played for Boston College.
Okay.
He's all over the field.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Luke Kuechly has been one of the few people in my lifetime that has really impressed me. I mean, you're talking about a guy that had 515 tackles in 3 years, which is a phenomenal amount of tackles.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, I think Tyler is in the same mold as him. And I'm telling you, it's nice to see a quality kid, because he's a quality kid.
Great ambassador of this university.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, I couldn't be happier for him. And like I said, I mean, if it comes to fruition and he breaks it, I'm all for it, because I love the way he plays. I like the way he takes. I've watched him now for the last 4 years, so I've seen him evolve into a really very good super player for Temple, and I just think that there's, he's got everything waiting for him, after this year, as long as he performs.
You think he has a future in the NFL?
And no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
When you come back here and see this beautiful complex, it's a state-of-the-art facility. There's food trucks outside, people here hours before this game even started, taking down some grub. There's so much excitement. To see this football program on the rise, what does that mean to you as an alum?
Man, it's great to finally see it. I mean, because when you're used to people, you're used to like a few people that you see here and there that come. Like I said, when we started that tailgate, it was 6 of us, and nobody would come to our tailgate. Now you have tailgate row. And listen, I mean, you're not going to compare that to Penn State or Ohio State or whatever. But
it'll never be like that.
No,
yeah.
But for us, I mean, I would hope that one day maybe that could be like that. If these guys really evolved into the program, that you could get Philadelphia following them and not be such a pro town and embrace Temple as a college town, I mean, it would be great. I'll tell you, the one thing that really ticks me off is that, like the Philadelphia Inquirer. You look at every day I read the Inquirer and I see them promoting Penn State. I go, are you kidding me?
You're in Philadelphia.
You're in Philadelphia. They're the hometown team. It's not about Penn State. Let Penn Live in Harrisburg worry about
They get
Penn
plenty of
State.
coverage out there.
Exactly.
They're all cultists anyway.
And it would be a nice scene if Temple could finally take down Penn State. I know
Absolutely.
It's been a very long time, and that's the opening game. And you played with such a phenomenal coach, and we got a chance to meet him over the years in Wayne Harden. What did he teach you, not only as a football player, but also as a man?
Well, I mean, the guy gave me a chance when nobody else would. I mean, I was a senior at Middletown High School. I broke my ankle the second game in the year. When I was recruited at Temple, I had a cast up to my hip. And the defense coordinator, Vince Hoke, he was all for giving me a scholarship. And Harden came right out and said, I don't want to give you one. But he goes, that guy believes in you, so he goes, I'll honor that. Well, when I got home and I told my father I got a scholarship, he said, no way. So I had to get the coach on the phone to tell him that I got, because he didn't believe me. He said, you misinterpreted something. So for him, he not only gave me an opportunity, but he was an older guy, and I kind of, for an older coach, I have a lot more respect for. I'm just saying, this is me from back then.
Yeah.
And the coaching back then was different. I mean, it was in-your-face type of stuff, and that's kind of coaching.
Society is soft now.
Right. Well, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not degrading any of these people for how they coach, but I'm just the type of kid that needed that somebody in my face grabbing my face mask saying, you did this wrong, and you need to do this right. And that's.
We hear so many of those stories. A guy like you or a guy like Paul Palmer, the only look he got was because one of his friends was being recruited. Muhammad Wilkerson, who's now one of the best defensive linemen in the league with the Jets, was a 2-star recruit. When you're in that situation where you're not getting that love from all the college coaches, does that just put an extra chip on your shoulder? Because I know it sounds cliche, but it seems like there's so many more guys in that league right now. You take a look at the Super Bowl, Julian Edelman didn't get the most love. He was drafted in the 7th round, and he could have been the MVP of the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler, too.
I tell you, guys, to be honest with you, I never really thought about it coming out of high school because I never really set my sights, and I don't know if it was because of the time era that I came out in 1978, that I didn't really think about that. I mean, Millersville University was interested in me, and I just figured, if I don't play football in college, I'm just going to go in the Marine Corps. So it didn't matter to me either way. I mean, so Temple offered me, and I mean, I don't think I ever had any aspiration. Well, I shouldn't say that because my cousin played for Notre Dame and started for Notre Dame when they won the 1966 national championship.
So there'll be a little bit of a rivalry on October 31st.
Yeah, it will. But I've always envisioned myself going there. But there came a time in my life where I knew that I was never going to go there, for whatever reason. I mean, I'm not saying that I wasn't good enough, but because grades or whatever. So I'm just appreciative that Harden had the, he took the chance on me and gave me that opportunity because without that, it would have been whatever.
What are the advantages of the quote-unquote prove-it-yourself type of deal?
What do you mean?
Because you had to go out there and prove yourself.
Oh.
Nothing was given to you. What are the advantages of doing that and turning heads in the process?
Well, I guess you can say, maybe I was a little bit hungrier. But, I came from a small town, and I just like to play football, man. So, I wasn't intimidated when I came to Temple. I just saw people that were just like me. And I just figured, they're going to hit me, I'm going to hit them, and it is what it is. I never thought about anybody being better than me or anything like that. It was just, I don't know, maybe I had a naive mindset about it all. But I think that could have helped me.
It's kind of the North Philly mindset, though.
Maybe.
Rugged, tough.
Yeah.
Before we let Steve Conjar go, I want to take you back a little bit to the Garden State Bowl. What do you remember from that football game?
Man, it was the greatest day of my life. Ranked 17th in the nation. What I guess now is a Pac-10 team or a Pac-12 team, whatever you want to call it. They came out thinking, oh, shit, we're playing Temple. Not a big deal. They're nothing. And we took it to them. And we went 10-2. We ranked 17th in the nation, and it's the best team this Temple ever had, the most games that Temple ever had. So, for me, I'm proud of that aspect. But my opinion is we should be 10-2 every year. That's the type of team that I want here. I don't want to win 6 games a year or 7 games a year. I want to do better than that. I want our team to be better than other people's teams, and to beat a Penn State and to beat a Notre Dame, and that they take us seriously, because back then they did. We were an independent, and we were just tough. We had a lot of kids from North Philly, from South Jersey, that were just tough-nosed kids that didn't give a crap about nothing. And when we went and played somebody, they knew, when they came out of that game, they knew that they played Temple.
You're exactly right, because I was talking to O.J. McDuffie. It was actually a little bit of a heated interview because I started pressing him on some of the stuff that happened at Penn State, and he threatened to hang up the phone on me. But he did say that when you played Temple, yes, we did win those games, but they were always tough. And when Matt Rule came in here to this university, there was just a little bit of an extra excitement, because you knew he wasn't going to be leaving anywhere in the immediate future, because there's a lot of coaches that say, hey, this is my dream job. When Matt Rule says, hey, Temple's my dream job, I actually believe it, and he starts talking about winning championships, getting to the American Athletic Conference championship game, and bringing a certain style back to Temple football. And it seems like this team this year could have a very special season.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, I agree with you. I think he is a very special coach, and I know Matt fairly well, but I do believe that he's the type of guy, if he wins here, he's going to stay. Now, I'm not saying that I know what I'm talking about, but that's just me talking. I just get that vibe from him, and I got that vibe from Golden until Golden started to have success. Because I tell you, I loved Al. I think Al was a great coach, and he did a lot of great things to put us on the map. The guy that took over after him, I'll just not even mention. But, that is what it is. And so, even though he may have said – I think
that's how a lot of people feel, Steve.
He may have said that this was his dream job. But do I believe it when Matt says it? I do, because I think he's settled here. And I think he could be a guy like Harden. I think that he could be a guy that goes 10 or 12 years here and has some success. And then maybe he'll move on. Who knows? But – you can't hold a guy back. If the guy stays here for a certain amount of time and gets a better offer,
you can't kill a guy for taking a job.
I'll tell you.
Got to give something back though before you leave.
Do. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm old school, but I look at it like, is money really a factor? Like, is there a dollar amount that won't make you leave? If you're making just say $1.2 million, and you're going to go to a job that's offering $4 million. Well, isn't $1.2 million enough for you to live off of? Do you really need to have?
You can support your family with that.
If I ever make $1.2 million in my life, that will be more more than enough.
I'd be damn happy.
Your tailgates will be off the charts if I make $1.2 million. I'm talking filet mignon, these ridiculous kinds of beer, vodka, all that stuff.
Making cheesesteaks with filet mignon.
$1.2 million, Steve Conjar, you have my word. Your tailgates are
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. But I'm telling you, that's my mindset. I don't need a whole lot as a person. So, if you got something good going somewhere and they're happy to have you, well, why mess with that? Why try to go somewhere, even though you're going to make more money? I don't know.
Well, this is a program that is in dire need of having stability because of these coaches have kind of come here, had success, and left. And for this Temple program, you can see it with Matt Rule. It's slowly developing and building. I think he's already ahead of the curve. In his first season, they go 2-10. Last year, they go 6-6. Here in this third year, it's time to take that next step, but also have some long-term stability as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, that's the thing I don't understand is that so you have a guy like Coach Harden that was here from 1970 to 1982. 2 Heisman Trophy winners at Navy. The guy didn't want to go anywhere. He wanted to stay. But he had a couple bad years in the end, and they wanted somebody else to come in here and take his place.
That was Arians who replaced him.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, and I'm not saying – I mean, Bruce was a good coach for that team. And I thought that they got rid of him way too soon. I think if they would have kept him, that this program could have rolled – a lot further down the road, and maybe he would have stayed, maybe he wouldn't have stayed. But, listen, when you look at it, it worked out for him in the end. Didn't work out for us, but it worked out for him.
We were talking earlier. Do you own a cigar shop in Westchester, or is that just one that you hit up a good amount?
That's just I have, people ask me all the time, on my license plate I have Cigar 55, which you guys know 55 was my number. I just enjoy smoking cigars.
A cigar connoisseur.
But it's funny that you guys ask me that because I got a guy that's putting a patio in for me right now, and he's not the brightest guy in the bunch, but he asked me.
He's not listening, hopefully.
He's not. Believe me, he's not. But he asked me last week, he goes, is that your last name on the back of your license plate?
Oh, man.
And
what's the perfect cigar for you?
And I didn't know what to say. I just said, nah, I said, I'm just a cigar smoker. I mean, so.
He might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but is he doing a good job?
Does he know how to use the tools?
Thank God he's in concrete.
All right, Steve. Thanks so much.
Guys. I appreciate you guys having me.
There's Steve Conjar, the all-time leading tackler of Temple University. WHIP, Philly's #1 college radio station. Score here from Edward Olson Hall is the White Team 40, the Cherry Team 20. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after these short messages.